The shocking truth: poverty in Nigeria. Nigeria, the giant of Africa. A nation rich in oil and resources. But look closer, and you see the shocking reality. 133 million people are trapped in deep poverty. That's 63% of the population who are multidimensionally poor. What does that mean? It's not just about cash. It means they lack the basics: healthcare, education, clean energy, and sanitation. Over half of all poor Nigerians still rely on dung or charcoal just to cook food. The suffering is not equal. It is a crisis split geographically. 65% of the poor live in the north. The gap between states is enormous. In Ondo State, poverty is 27%. That's the lowest. In Sokoto State, it's a staggering 91%. Your fate is determined by where you happen to be born. And if you live in a rural area, 72% of the people are poor. The children suffer most. In the Northeast and Northwest, almost 90% of children are poor. Why is this happening? Why can't rich states lift their people out of this cycle? The federal handout trap. The architecture of dependence. The single biggest problem is financial dependence. Most states can't pay their own bills. They are fiscally chained to the central government. 32 out of 36 states rely on a federal handout called FAC for over 55% of their total income. For day-to-day running, 21 states rely on federal transfers for at least 80% of their spending. This means development is subsidized by unstable oil money. When oil prices fall, state budgets crash. The system punishes hard work. Why? The revenue-sharing formula gives the federal government 50.68%. The 36 states split only 26.72%. The formula is old and heavily criticized. It doesn't promote efficiency or align with real state needs. The perverse incentive is simple. Why struggle to collect property taxes locally when a federal check is guaranteed every month? This leaves most states with almost no local money. IGR, Lagos, FCD, and Rivers states top the IGR list. Lagos alone generated an 86 billion in 2023. But look at the weakest states, often the poorest ones. Taraba, Yobe, and Kebbi combined generated just over 33 billion. That's financial weakness at an extreme level. When states can't cover their costs, every major investment in hospitals, roads, or schools depends on that unpredictable federal handout. The resource curse. Oil and institutional decay. The root of this problem is oil, which acts as a resource curse. The colonial system started it, focusing only on extraction, often harming the local people. This created an elite political class that saw state resources as rent to be captured. Oil wealth actively degrades institutions. Why build a tough tax system when easy money is pouring in? This inflow led to disaster. Between 1970 and 2000, Nigeria's per capita GDP essentially froze. Poverty rates doubled during that period, from 36% to nearly 70%. The main culprit wasn't a lack of oil, it was massive waste and corruption. This addiction killed diversification. The economy still relies heavily on oil. Alternative sectors like manufacturing or agriculture were neglected. This is why local economies are weak, and the states remain trapped in dependency. Scene 4. The internal enemy's governance failure. Even when states get their money, poor governance ensures it never reaches the people. Corruption. Funds for public projects are routinely stolen, resulting in white elephant projects that are either poorly executed or unfinished. Corruption lowers governance effectiveness and shrinks the tax base. Citizens won't pay taxes if they know the money will be stolen. The ghost worker syndrome. This is massive payroll fraud. Non-existent people, ghost workers, receive salaries and pensions. This thrives because of manual payroll systems. It's not just petty theft. It's a development issue that consumes billions that should fund essential services. Sabotaging the grassroots. State governors frequently starve local government areas. LG letters of funds. Federal funds meant for local services are diverted by the states. What's left only covers salaries, leaving little or nothing at all for services for citizens at the grassroots level. State elites deliberately undermine local democracy and autonomy to keep control of the money. Scene 5. Breaking the bottlenecks. The path forward. To escape this trap, states need to achieve financial independence and fix governance. 1. The Lagos Blueprint. Lagos State is the model. It generates 74% of its revenue internally. This autonomy allows it to invest heavily in infrastructure. How? By aggressively expanding its tax net, especially focusing on property tax. Experts believe Lagos could generate N1 trillion to N5 trillion annually from property tax alone if collections are optimized. 2. Fix the money system. The Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission RMAFC must urgently complete its review of the revenue formula. The new formula must reward states for their IGR efforts. We must incentivize hard work, not just dependence. 3. Build trust and accountability. PFM discipline. States must adopt modern systems like GIFMS to eliminate ghost workers and payroll fraud. Transparency. Governments must regularly publish approved budgets and financial reports. This restores the public trust needed for citizens to pay their taxes. Empower the local level. Give local governments real financial and administrative autonomy. Resources meant for communities must reach them. Finally, the fight against poverty must target the worst-hit areas. Reforms like the removal of fuel subsidies must be paired with expanding social protection cash transfers for the poor during the tough transition period. Then, recovered funds must be demonstrably redirected to urgent development areas like education and healthcare to break the cycle of human capital deficit. Only by forcing states to stand on their own economic feet and holding them accountable for every narrow can Nigeria turn its vast wealth into widespread prosperity.